is experimental. Let's see if this works though. I haven't done this in a little while, but I want to do some cooking just because I've been kind of lazy recently about actually doing cooking. And I feel like I should make up for it by doing some cooking. Let's see here. How is icemanwest not opening up? What? Son of a bitch. I don't even know if the audio is working yet. Let's see here. Also, I need to be able to see if like my hands can be seen, you know? Let's see if this is working. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let's go live. Now I just want to make sure that everything's going to be able to be seen, you know what I mean? It's one thing to do a little cooking stream. It's a completely other thing to like have done the stream and then have like no good view of what you were doing, you know? Let's see how this looks. Okay, so that doesn't look bad. I've got a bunch of stuff that I need to get ready. So I need this. I need this. That should be okay. This actually no. Let's do it. Okay. All right, though, this should be. Oh, here we go. Just what I was looking for. I need that. I need some bowls. I'm hoping somebody can indicate if the stream's coming through just fine, you know what I mean? I'm not quite sure if it's going to work or not. So, all right, still experimental. Haven't done this for a little while. I've got that one. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to be cooking a dish tonight. A dish that I eat on stream all the time. But it's mostly going to be one of those dishes where you're like, it's just one of those warm, comforting dishes, right? Warm, comforting dishes. So what I got to do, of course, is aim the camera down. But sometimes it just keeps slipping. And I don't know what to do, so. Yeah. If it fails, it fails. And then I wind up, like, cooking stuff. So there's that, right? Okay. We need chicken. So I got 6 chicken breasts from Target. I'm gonna cut them all up into cubes and kind of like get them ready for being like essentially just fried. Probably should have done those dishes, but that's okay. Now you'll notice my stove is not exactly the cleanest, but the life of a bachelor, you can only do so much, you know? All right. These are like, you can get chicken breasts from Target. You can get chicken breasts from Whole Foods. Like generally, I find non-organic chicken breasts are pretty much the same price per pound. I buy them at Target only because it's a little bit cheaper. But I was checking out Whole Foods as well because I was kind of curious, and they're selling them for like, I think it was $2.49 per pound, a little bit cheaper for Prime members as well. But really, all I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting into them and then getting them ready to be cut up. It's not too hard. I just kind of have, since I have a smaller kitchen, I tend to kind of just do my thing. So what I'll do, obviously raw chicken, you got to be careful. But in this case, since all I'm going to be doing is messing with raw chicken with all the utensils and what stuff right now, I'm just gonna get all the chicken breasts ready, and then I'm gonna cut them up. I might not notice if anybody's in chat right away. I gotta get more used to this kind of way. All right, so let's see if this can be seen. I'm pretty sure it can be seen. If you don't know how to cut a chicken breast, there's many ways to cut a chicken breast. It's kind of up to you, but for me, I kind of do the same thing every time, just for reproducibility. So you don't have to do it exactly like me. I also don't know if all the audio is working fine, and so I'm hoping somebody will show up. It sounds like it's good. I just have to determine if that's the case. So I'm gonna do this with all 6 chicken breasts. It's just kind of a way to do it. One thing I've noticed is I gotta get the camera slightly more aimed down. I wish I had a shoulder mount of some kind. I was thinking of bringing my computer in here and just like setting up like a ceiling cam. But for now, since I'm not like always doing cooking streams, I'll just mess around with it like this. You know? But there's always this like 1 hour or so amount of time where I'm doing this. I'm not actually like streaming or doing anything interesting. And so by the time I get to like playing TF2, I'm just like, damn, I could have streamed that. Plus, I think a lot of people during the pandemic could have saved a lot more money if they knew how to cook. Because I save a lot of money because I know how to cook. I ain't Gordon Ramsay, but you know. You can see this like kind of like area right in here on these breast pieces. That's kind of what I'm messing with right now. Just getting that cut into a little like portion. There's little stuff you can get rid of, but that'll cook out and make it taste better. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is there's a whole bunch of like steps to it. So if you get bored with cooking and you want a more simple recipe, I've got other recipes where it's like you just add a whole bunch of stuff to a pot and then just kind of, you know, go for it. But this one, I like this one because it'll last about a week for meals in terms of like lunches or dinners, depending on how I want to do it. But at the same time, it's just really hearty, you know, just makes you feel good. Thing I forgot to do was buy some broccoli, because I was going to steam some broccoli to put in each of these portions that I'll be making. So there's that. Now, if you want to comment on my cutting technique, yes, I know I could be doing a little bit more like knuckle, but since I'm not going for speed and I'm not working in a professional kitchen, I'm not too worried about cutting myself. When I go for speed, yes, I will do that kind of stuff, but on these things, meh, it's fine. Oh, that was a bad cut. I'm so focused on keeping the camera like in a good position so it can be seen that I don't know. I'll just do this, I guess. I've never chopped at a distance so that it can be seen. It's kind of interesting. If you're vegan, I'm sorry. This chicken gave its life so that I may bring you this stream. Or since it's 6 breasts, we'll just assume it's 3 chickens, but the more likely explanation is that it's 6 different chickens. I think there's this patent that Amazon got after they purchased Whole Foods for a 1 cow beef burger. Like when you eat ground beef in a burger, I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it's like at least 50, but it's probably even more. But essentially when you eat ground beef, it's not just from one cow. So that's a problem in this post-COVID world, but it's been a problem all along because, if you've got some kind of recall going on and it's just one cow that was infected, you gotta like recall all the freaking meat. So sucks for those people, right? But with that in mind, Amazon's patent for the one cow burger, I think it's a cool futuristic idea. No one really ever thought about that, Do. Okay, got that. Okay. Sometimes I can't find the motivation to do this recipe. Sometimes. So that'll be good, I guess. 2 more breasts to cut into after this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make like a base to coat this all in with like flour and seasoning. Then we're gonna fry them all up in a pan, and then we're gonna bake it all off in the oven. It takes about maybe an hour total for this recipe. While it's baking off in the oven, I'm gonna cook some rice. Oh, balls. I told my phone not to update stuff, but it's like, hey, how about we update your entire goddamn phone while you're streaming? Like this one over here that I'm looking at. It's like friggin' updating it. It's so stupid. I don't connect it to the net all the time because I just use it for a Steam phone. But it's so frustrating, Give these kind of phones an inch, they'll take a friggin' mile. I already told it to stop updating stuff. It's doing it anyway. So I might actually lose the ability to see the stream here in a minute. I've got a Raspberry Pi that I could hook up instead with that nice monitor. I could just like set it over there. It's actually probably the best idea. I feel like my technique is getting worse the more I'm distracted by looking at stuff. So we've got a pretty decent bowl of chicken at the moment. 1 more breast, and then we're gonna move on to the next phase here. If you're playing along at home, you're probably watching this in the future, because I highly doubt you have all the ingredients that I have today. Ooh, it's cold in my kitchen. Can't wait to turn the oven on. Hey, No Skill, what's up? I'm going to be making a chicken dish. It's called chicken Acapulco. And it's got a whole bunch of random spices that I'm going to break out in just a minute. So, essentially what I'm doing is just frying up chicken pieces. And then I'm going to put them into the oven and cook them in some, some chicken broth. And I'll make some rice. And it's just a really hearty dish that my family always ate growing up. It's probably one of my favorites. It's like I had my mom show me how to make it over summer because I knew I'd be going back to school, knew I needed to do some prep work. And so this just happened to be the recipe that I kind of settled on as this is my main staple. I still do breakfast burritos, I'll do pastas on occasion, but this meal will make me feel like $1,000,000. It's called chicken Acapulco. It's like Acapulco. I can't remember exactly how to spell it, but it's a wonderful little recipe. All right. So, it's cold in my kitchen. All right. So now, of course, before I forget, I need to get all these wonderful little chicken juices out of here. Drain all this stuff out if you need to sometimes. Okay. So that's good. Of course, I bought everything that I needed at Target. Keep that in mind. Target's my homeboy. All right, so now I can get rid of all the raw chicken from my hands. It's the worst thing in the world, walking around with raw chicken pieces in. I wish I had a dual sink, but whatever. Happy birthday to me, it's not my birthday, but if you sing the happy birthday song twice, you've done enough to clean your hands. Happy birthday to me, it's not my birthday, but I'm washing my hands with soap to keep the raw chicken from killing me. Because in the US, we have strange standards. All right, there we go. Get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Thanks for dropping by the stream, though, no skill. Word up. Okay, now I can touch myself again. And by touch myself, I mean, you know. Okay. Now we have our chicken, and we have a bowl here. This bowl is what I'm going to be putting seasonings into. Seasonings are incredibly important. For this recipe, I've got things like chili powder. I've got cayenne pepper. I've got some white pepper. It keeps the dish a little bit more from being so dark, I suppose. I've got normal pepper, of course. And the secret ingredient is mace. So if you don't know what mace is, Google mace. And you'll probably be like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. But it gives it a great flavor. Okay, so now the entire recipe is not too hard, right? But if you don't know how to cook or you've never cooked and you don't really know where to begin or how to organize yourself to get set for this, that's what I'm here for. Because again, going out, buying pizzas, that's good times. But if you want to save money and you want to like build up a savings, the easiest way is to learn how to cook. And that's just kind of my vibe here. Hey, what's up? Fresh like Fiji? Indeed, I'm gonna be making. Eat the chicken raw? No, only if it was made into a milkshake, maybe. So the other thing we're gonna need here is flour. So this recipe kind of depends on who you ask, but I'm just gonna use a cup of flour. The original recipe is a half a cup, and I just doubled the recipe because I hate making it, all the freaking time. I just want to make it once. So we've got a cup of flour. All right. So now the next thing I need is all my measuring cups, measuring teaspoons and things like that. And what we're going to use here is I need a teaspoon of salt. So a little bit of salt. It's a little bit hard to read chat from this distance. I might have to bring in a bigger monitor, but I'll do my best to keep up with it. So what did I say? I need a teaspoon of salt. Where's my teaspoon? Okay, this appears to be my teaspoon. So we'll do a teaspoon of salt. And again, if you do a little bit more, a little bit less, whatever. My family's always been kind of a lower sodium family. But that's just my family. All right. Teaspoon of salt. Check. Oh no, it's 2 teaspoons when I double the recipe. Sorry. It's 2 teaspoons. Forgive me. Messing up my own recipe. Usually I do this in silence. I'm just kind of like chilling or listening to music. And now we need half a teaspoon of red pepper. Let's see here. Where's my half teaspoon of red pepper? And when I say red pepper, I mean cayenne pepper. Some people get confused when some people write red pepper and then maybe like try to use like crushed red pepper flakes. You can get away with using red pepper flakes, but cayenne pepper is already ground up and good to go. Plus, it really gives it a decent kick. So, do a little bit of that action. So, I've got a half teaspoon of red pepper. So, get that in there. Okay, cayenne pepper, complete. So now, let's see what's going on in chat. Oh, now I can see chat. Okay. Alrighty then. We need a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. 1/4 teaspoon white pepper. Okay, so here's my white pepper. So that's a good time. Let me put this right there. I don't actually have the recipe memorized. I'm going to be cheating, reading it off my cheat sheet. But pretend like I'm an expert and I know what to tell you about everything, right? Just pretend. Just pretend. It'll be awesome. So here's my 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. So that's cool. Let's do that one. I almost feel like taking this door off. It's kind of in my way. And it blocks the light. Let's do this. Key door. Right, there we go. Yeah, let's just take that off. Okay. So, where are we at here? So now chili powder. I need a half a teaspoon of chili powder. So let's get chili powder here. Half a teaspoon of chili powder. Now I need a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Let's see here. Quarter teaspoon of black pepper. So essentially a quarter black pepper and a quarter white. So there you go. That's awesome. And let's see here. Oh yeah, and then a teaspoon, this one right here, of mace. Mace is one of those ones where, again, look it up if you've never heard of what mace is. But it's the outer shell of nutmeg. So it's like similar to nutmeg. So now, all right. So that's all the ingredients. Okay. This is the base that I'm going to use to coat the chicken when I fry it. And of course, if you like colors like I do, 5 different colors, distinct, and mix it all up. Okay, I'm gonna use a whisk so it looks really professional though. It's very important to be professional. Of course, all those colors, they just kind of disappear into this. So you don't necessarily you almost can't tell, but it's all about the flavor. And again, this is kind of a lighter looking dish. So you're never gonna really see, it's not gonna be like a darker looking dish. And that's just a chef thing. Okay, that should be good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Really getting the flour on the chicken so you can fry it up properly is easier. A lot of the spice comes in because whatever of this that I don't use, I'm gonna put into the dish as we add chicken broth to it to get it all cooked up. Eat the chicken raw. Such a bad idea, but I'm sure there's people out there who could do such a thing. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna save that for now. Okay, we need a little space. I definitely need a little space here. When I do this recipe, I'm doubling the recipe. So what I'm gonna do, I need to get the oven on 350 so it's ready. Nothing's in the oven. Fantastic. And then what to do is get these turned on and ready to go. Okay. If I'm just cooking them at 5 medium heat, you can turn it down as you're cooking, just kind of depends. But the big thing here is now I need to coat all the chicken, right? So for example, I shall just dump all this into here, right? Super easy. Waste of a bowl, but good times. Now you're like, all right, Iceman, well, you get your hands all messy. You're gonna move the chicken around with your hands and you have to wash them again. What are you gonna do, man? How's this gonna work out? Oh, no. What we actually do is just put this top on right here. Now this is where the pro technique comes in. I'm probably gonna mess it up for a live stream fail, but you can see all the chicken's in here, right? So now, if you want to coat it a little bit easier, you can just do something like this. I usually do it over the stove or over the sink rather, because I don't want to necessarily get powder all over the place. It's kind of hard to do with a camera on me. I've never really done it this way. Usually I shake it up. I'm a little concerned about the camera getting all messed up, but you kind of get the idea. You do this for a while until you got everything coated. If you can't quite get everything coated, shake it up. And worst case scenario, open it up and just kind of touch things up before you go to fry all the chicken. But I find this to be very efficient. If you don't have something like this, again, you can dip them in this thing that we've made one at a time. Again, if you're going for speed, I highly recommend doing this. Ooh, look at that. Okay, oops. Well, unfortunately, I have spilled on myself already, but I blame the stream for that, so that's cool. Whee! Yeah, I should get one more camera in here, so it kind of like shows me, you know? That's okay. Most of my people know what I look like. I'll sit there for 6 hours playing TF2. No big deal. Now, look at this. Pretty much ready to go. Okay. So, get all this crap out of the way. Move, Spice. Get out the way. Okay, that's good. All right, so I highly recommend using olive oil. I don't have any olive oil right now, so I'm just gonna use canola oil. Unless you're like the most amazing taster in the world, you really won't notice too much of a difference. I just want this on here to allow myself to do my thing. Now, you don't need a whole bunch of oil. I actually added a little bit too much to that pan, but whatever. The big thing here is just enough to where you can make sure everything gets a little bit of oil on it. So when you go to fry stuff, you know, it doesn't get too messed up. All right, so I got that. So this will be used to turn everything. Okay. I think I might get a chair. Let me get a chair. Let's see here. I find sometimes sitting down is very helpful, you know. Okay. Boom. Easier. Now let's fix that. Now I need a proper shoulder mount so I can actually do like a legit mode. Okay. Looks like we're back to normal. So that's good. All right, so clearly I have a whole bunch of powder all over the place. That's okay. All I'm going to do is just check on the chicken. Okay, so I did a horrible job because I was trying to impress the stream, so I'll just do it manually for now. Whatever. Not a big deal. Just means I have to wash my hands again. Okay. The technique, it does work well when I'm not trying to, like I'm trying to keep the camera mounted on this thing. Like I've got it around my neck and it's clipped to like a, something that I've got tied around my neck, like a bungee cord. So it will fall if I'm not, you know, oh, I messed it up. It'll fall if I don't keep it still. All right, so this all looks pretty good. All right, so let's start putting them in. It doesn't really matter how long you wait to put them in. I found, like, we're just trying to give them some color. It shouldn't take too long, but, you know. I can't even see, can you? But this is the magic behind icemanwest, this dish. Oh, I love this dish so much. I can stream for so long after eating this. And usually I pre-make a whole bunch of them, so I can just keep eating them as the stream goes on. It's good times. So you can see I don't have a lot of oil on necessarily like everything. Do a little bit of manipulation here. Okay, got that, that. So let me see how many I can fit in the tiny pan now. So usually the recipe is half as big, or if I had it all in the pan, pretty much it'd be ready to go. But to anybody watching in the future or looking to make this recipe, if you want the full recipe, just hit me up. Not like a secret recipe, otherwise I don't think I'd be streaming it, but I would love to hear if you've ever had it before, what vegetables you'd add to it. I kind of want to do broccoli. I just forgot to buy broccoli. Usually what winds up happening is I have to really pack in some of these chicken. It just depends on how big the breast pieces are. When I see the price of the chicken, generally I know like if it's a $17 six pack, probably not going to fit. If it's a $13 six pack, it's definitely going to fit. You can see I can get everything to fit. So I'm just going to shove all this over here. Get some oil and keep on rocking here. What's up, grenades? Howdy to you. Welcome to the stream. I'm making chicken Acapulco. If you like random dishes from the 70s/80s. It's kind of a family recipe. We didn't invent it. We've just been eating it for years. Let's make some more space. I'm looking forward to washing my hands after this because boy, oh boy, I'm not a huge fan of like hands being dirty. Oh, yes, indeed. So can I sneak a... I think the one unreproducible thing that this recipe always has is the fact that I never quite know if things are going to fit. All right, so I believe we've grabbed all the chicken pieces. There's a couple more random ones in here. Maybe one more tiny piece. I believe that's it. Okay, close enough. The rest will cook off in the oven. Obviously, I'm not cooking the chicken on the stove, or maybe it's not obvious. I'm just giving the chicken some color. All the magic's actually just going to happen once it's in the oven. I don't really have to... Holy crap. Flour is sticking to me nicely. Ooh, that is hot water. Let me use this. Ooh, what's going on in chat? Okay. Oops. Go here. Cool. All right, so fixing the camera again because I don't really have an optimal setup for this. All right, so as you can see, all the chicken is just doing its thing. Things to consider. This is going to get chicken broth. I'm going to mix chicken broth in with this powder right here. And then all this stuff. Good times. All right, so let's see what's going on over here. Probably the most boring part is just turning the chicken, giving it additional color. So that's all I'm going to do right now. Is I'm just going to turn all these pieces, keep things going. If I had a deep fryer, clearly I would just dunk all this into a deep fryer real quick, give it some color, and then pop it in the oven. I do not have a deep fryer, so that's not something I can do. If you're hungry like I am right now, just wait. Once I've got this in the oven, we're going to make some either breakfast burritos or I'll just make like a breakfast platter. I'm just probably going to make a breakfast platter just so I can eat while this is happening. Worst case scenario, I'll pre-make a bunch of breakfast burritos and then I'll eat this when it's done. Let's turn it down just a little bit. but I believe we may have just hit 1,000 followers. I don't know if anybody can see right now, but I'm maybe like 4 or 5 followers away from 1,000. And I just broke 11,000 views since I started streaming last night. So it's pretty good times. I wonder who the 1,000th follower is going to be. Now again, if you don't coat both sides, and I've done that before just because I was lazy and I wanted to finish the recipe faster, you don't actually have to flip it around and get color on both sides. But like if you're having a date or you're like having somebody over and you want to impress them, like taking the time to make sure all sides of the chicken kind of get colored or just have that little bit of like fry texture to them is not a, I think it's a good thing to do. I think last time I did this recipe, I forgot to save the VOD, so I couldn't make a YouTube video about it. And that's kind of what I'm doing now, is I might not use my voice as it is now for the, here's how you cook it. I might just take clips of this and then just do a quick, 5-minute YouTube video, like, you suck at cooking style, showing people how to make this. You suck at cooking, yeah, you totally do. All right, that's good. How are we doing here? I forget a couple. I always forget a couple. There we go. All right, so before I forget this one, let's move on to this guy. Flip that over, flip that over, flip that over. Isn't this fun? I need better lighting though. This is kind of bad lighting, isn't it? Should bring in an extra light and hang it up somewhere. I think I have an idea. I'm gonna do it in just a second. And again, if you wanted to stop right here and then just like combine everything, you could. However, the flipping, this is such a, it's boring, I would say, while I'm streaming, but I think it's kind of therapeutic from just doing this by myself. Where you're just like, all these little lovely pieces of chicken, just getting them all ready. Okay, let me get something real quick. This is my apartment as it is right now. Let's borrow this. Oh, this is gonna be hot. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, look at this. Oh, instantly better. Oh, that's so much better. I hope everybody approves, if anyone's still here. Never heard, okay, so it's called chicken Acapulco. If you type it into, if you do a Google voice to text search and you say chicken Acapulco, you'll kind of understand probably what it is. I don't know if this recipe's evolved over time. I'm using my mom's version of the recipe because the original recipe calls for Italian seasoning, but she created her own Italian seasoning over the years. So like that's what I'm using to give it its flavor. So if you find a recipe for chicken Acapulco, let me know, because I would love to see other versions of chicken Acapulco, and even I might even consider making them, But this is like mom's home cooking style right here. There's a couple other recipes she gave me over the summer and showed me how to make, but some of them are a little bit more involving. And so since I'm streaming and I generally want to maximize my time to like sit and do gaming, this one, I'm okay with this one. Because it's pretty basic. Like if you got a kid, you can have the kids like coat everything. But it's good times. Okay, so let's see here. I got that. That's good. All right, so I think I've flipped over a majority of them. And again, if you can't flip them all over, it really doesn't matter because you're going to finish cooking all the chicken in the oven. So one of the professional ways, if you've never done fried chicken before, the professional way to get really good fried chicken is not to just like fry everything in a deep fryer. It's to give it some color, give it the crispiness in a deep fryer, and then you just bake it off. So I'm going to be baking it in the oven. These are basically ready. I could cook them to be a little bit more like colored, have a little bit more browniness to them, tannish look into them, but meh, doesn't have to be perfect. I just mow these down anyways. I'm just going for the protein and the flavor, and also the spice, because I like, I got a bit of I've always had a kind of a stuffy nose. I have what's called a deviated septum. So stuff like this can be very, very interesting. Okay, now, how much chicken broth am I going to add to this? Generally, I start with about half of this 32-ounce container. Sometimes I need more, sometimes I need less. Just depends. I'm just going to pour this all in here. And please say something in chat if you can't see. I'm still trying to make sure. Oh, wow. Chat's down here. Oh, I see now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, dude, mom's home cooking. That's what you want. So that's about half. Okay, maybe that was like 2/3. I'm gonna get that all ready. Obviously, I'm gonna mix it again before I combine everything, but it's cool. So this one's good. I'm gonna keep cooking this one a little bit longer. And now for the magic. Did you get your ingredients at one of those Amazon stores? Source Hugh, excellent question. No, all my ingredients come from Target. I buy pretty much everything I need at Target. So whether it's the salt, the white pepper, the black pepper, you can see this is all coming from, actually I got the cayenne pepper from Whole Foods, it looks like. I got this from a specialty store called World Spice Merchants. It's over by the Target in downtown Seattle. It's by the Pike Place Market. It's hard to find mace. Like, it's really hard to find mace. And then chili powder. So basically everything, including the chicken, all that good stuff, came from Target. I'm going to use an onion in just a second, and then, yeah, should be good. Okay, so now, so my mom gave me this, because I needed something better for baking stuff off in the oven. So this is what I'm going to use. And this part of the adventure is pretty darn easy, honestly. Part of the adventure is easy, where I just take this and you just empty it into here. Okay. Do a little bit of that. By the way, welcome back to the stream, Source You. Appreciate you. So I'm going to put all these in here. Super easy, nothing complicated. Just pretend like these ones are done, because they basically are. And again, I can cook them a little bit better. I'm a little bit scuffed feeling about this one this time, but that's okay. So now, what have we just made? We've essentially made chicken nuggies. Everyone loves their chicken nuggets, right? That's like the thing. So now, all you gotta do is take the chicken broth and the powder that we mixed together, and you just freaking add it. That's all you gotta do. Super easy, right? Now you can see how it's not quite covering it to the top, so I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken broth just to make sure. But for the most part, make sure I turn off all my stuff. Okay, so now the other thing I need is some onion. And so through the miracle of modern television, then since I only have one big old chef knife, I unfortunately need to clean this again real quick. I think next time I'm going to use my Raspberry Pi with a monitor in here so I can see chat better. So, because my phone's over on the wall over there that I'm using for it, so it's just a little bit hard to see chat. But if you bear with me, I'll try to talk to you more. Okay, easy peasy. Got that. Okay, so now where's my onion? Here's my onion. You don't need a lot of onion. You just need like a sliver of onion. That's it. Just a little bit. So, no, I didn't just sharpen my knife. Probably should have. I'm going to use a white onion. That's what we've always used. You can use any type of onion. When I learned the recipe with my mom over the last summer, all it was just like we had a red onion, so we used a red onion. Not a big deal. But let's see here. I have a banana. Yeah, so like, banana for scale. You don't need a whole lot of onion, but the onion definitely gives it a decent flavor, Okay. Skull there. Let's see if I can do this first try. Yes, I'm awesome. Okay. So I'm just gonna cube up an onion real quick. Doesn't even have to be cubed if you're not a very good onion cuber, but for the most part, just making them into smaller pieces so that we don't really have to bite into like long pieces of onions. This is all gonna cook off with it. Okay. Do just a little bit more. There's a decent chop though. I don't think I need to fix this anymore. I just added Nightbot yesterday, so I'm getting used to seeing Nightbot chat every now and then. Sometimes like my heart will skip a beat and like, oh, someone's talking. Okay, so again, quick and dirty. Let's just get some onions in here. Just throw them on top. You can add extra chili powder to the top if you want to make it even spicier. Unfortunately, if you add too much, it kind of ruins the dish. So if you stick to this recipe, you really can't go wrong. All right, so there's that. Boo, I don't want an onion piece. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, so again, as you can see, the level is not quite being covered, and I want to make sure that the chicken broth completely covers this so I can continue cooking and everything. So just gonna add some chicken broth until it's basically at the top. That's good. All right, so boom, it is ready to go. All I gotta do is throw it in the oven after I double check that everything's kind of pressed down. Should be good. Looks great. All right, so now, unfortunately, since this is not a real cooking show, this is gonna be one of those non-miracle of modern television cooking shows where that actually is gonna sit in there for like an hour while we do some other stuff. All right. Hey, Inklings, what's up? Why are you cutting onions? Just to kind of sprinkle on top, because that'll cook with it in the oven, and it'll make it even tastier. All right, so what time is it right now? Let's see, is this working? Oh man, I gotta get this thing all fixed. Here we go. I really need a more professional IRL setup, Better? That looks all right. Okay. So, now kind of the next phase. I got to clean up things just a little bit. So if you get bored by cleaning, come back in 5 minutes and I'll be done cleaning. However, if you like to watch me clean stuff, let's do this, I gotta get my stuff. The thing that sucks about the cell phone version of chat is it doesn't always dranks is important. Have we hit 1,000 followers yet? I feel like I'm really close. I should probably double check. I see 997 followers. So yeah, we're doing. Oh, that's why you said drank. So on the cell phone, it didn't show me the redeem of the hydrate. So. Mhm. Thank you for the water, though. I didn't even think of that. Any beers you would suggest with this fine meal? I don't drink beer enough to know what would go good with it. To be perfectly honest, though, I think a white wine would go fantastic with this on a date. Any kind of white wine. Maybe like a Pinot Grigio, which is usually more of a dessert wine. But I could see using a Pinot with this. By the way, what freaking time is it? I gotta keep track of time here. Let's do this. Boom. Okay. I'm using all my phones to do this, so I cannot exactly. All right, there we go. Animal Fish, thank you very much for the follow. Or I My Fish. Okay. Let's get back to it. Now, as a bachelor, I just want to let everybody know that I'm really like kind of loose with like what I do with all my dishes. I go through dishes so fast. Sometimes I just set them out and just keep going. So, what beer would go good with this, though? That's a great question. All right, now. So essentially, the rice I'm going to cook takes like 20 minutes to cook. So I don't actually have to start the rice for a little while. There's a number of things I could do right now. I think the next step is going to be cooking off this pork from Target. I don't know why I wanted to call Target TF2, but there you go. So we'll do that in just a second because I'm going to make some breakfast style food. It's weird thinking that dishes might be entertaining, but you know. Mostly I just want to get all the stuff that has raw chicken on it cleaned so I can use it for other things. Yes, I'm wasting a lot of water as well. But here in the Pacific Northwest, we get all of our water from glacial runoff from the mountains. It's not like we live in California or somewhere where, you know, all your water comes from another city's wastewater that they filter to give to your city, you know, things like that. Like this is, anyways, plus water's pretty cheap in Seattle. This doesn't even need to be cleaned, but this is my plate from last night. I am going to play some TF2 later, very likely. But I've been kind of slacking on the amount of prep that I do on food. So I thought, well, I'll clean up a bunch of stuff, make some meals, and then see what happens. My buddy gave me this knife. He just got his PhD in space physics. This is like the knife that he always used to do a lot of his cutting of stuff when he's at school. It's a historically scientific, badass knife. Get some here now. I think cleaning stuff, probably my least favorite activity by myself. I prefer to do dishes with somebody else. Partner in crime. That's how you know your date's going well. It's like, say you make a meal and your date offers to help you like do dishes. Oh, hot wife material. I can't see a lot of alerts right now since I'm just reading chat off of my phone. Hey, Cereal Soggy, welcome to the stream. How did you get timed out for 5 seconds? What happened? What did Nightbot do? I'm so sorry. I will investigate that right now. I just installed Nightbot yesterday, so I'm not entirely sure why you got timed out. Let's find out. Let's see here. Interesting. Interesting. It thinks you were spamming symbols. Well, if you know anything about Nightbot, let me know. Also, this is my battle station. If you've never seen my battle station, yes, there's toilet paper right here. Don't make fun of me. This is not masturbatory toilet paper. This is like to blow my nose. In fact, I kind of need to blow my nose. So go over here. Oh yeah, that was hot. Okay, I'll tell you. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Yes, indeed, though. I do cooking streams every now and then. Okay, good to know, Soggy. Thank you. Would you prefer your quick name to be Soggy or the cereal? I feel like Soggy's a bit easier, but let me know. I try to give people quick names as I get to know them. Sometimes some people's names are just so freaking long. You're like, I don't want to read and say your whole name every time. It says Icemanwest, but people usually just call me Ice or Iceman anyway. Hardly anybody refers to me as icemanwest. Usually like younger viewers, because I think they're very like professional and proper. But we'll see. Yeah, man. No one says the cereal. So you like Soggy? Right. Yeah, so kind of like how I stream TF2 to show people how I try to identify cheaters. I think like cooking streams for me is like, I want everybody who's broke to see how easy it is to make delicious meals. Like this doesn't cost a lot of money. I could probably do a breakdown on the actual cost, but it's like, it was $14 for the 6 chicken breasts. And then the spices I bought 7 months ago. So the spices thus far have lasted me almost 7 months. The only thing that I go through pretty quickly is the actual flour that I use to make the like the batter, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Let's see. So you can see I've got a few almost empty chicken broths that I need to do something with. Let's see here, what did I miss in chat? So I am making something called chicken Acapulco. This is a quick rundown of the basic recipe, if you've never seen it before. But this is like the 5 people serving recipe, this one right here. I could post it, but early on in the stream, I kind of go over the ingredients as I like make them all. but it's yeah, just quick and dirty. But it's called, so if you go to Google and say chicken Acapulco, Google will type it in properly for you. I don't even know how to spell Acapulco. I should have titled the stream. In fact, maybe I'll change the stream title, but I'm gonna cook a couple other things, so maybe I won't. All right, so that was easy. Let's get this guy. Since I have such a small kitchen space, sometimes even if I clean stuff, I'll just pull them back out of the whatever that's called. I don't know, I can't think of the name. Because usually if I clean them, they're clean enough. Okay, just about ready for phase 2 here. Let's go with this. Whoop. Damn. Dude, I need a shoulder-mounted camera, though. I really need one, because this whole hanging it around my neck and then having it, like, move all the time is just unacceptable. Okay. All right, so now everything is just where I want it. Joe Mama. Yeah, so again, you can see what we've got in the oven right here, but be just a minute. Next, I need some potatoes. Let's use this cutting board. And we'll use this knife again, because I just cleaned it. So I need like, for what I'm doing right now, just in the meantime, and we're 11 minutes into baking, I'm just gonna cut up 2 potatoes. I'm gonna essentially take off and flatten all the sides, because when I cube potatoes, I don't like to have a potato rolling around when I'm cubing it. So I like to do something like this. Okay. Little cubing action. If you set it on the flat side, you kind of keep the cubing together. Obviously, I'm wasting some potatoes. I've saved these in the past and just like fried them up for like a little snack. But you know. So cutting and cubing potatoes, or cubing anything, I do enjoy cubing stuff. Okay. So let's make them just a little bit smaller. Okay. So we're cubing up potatoes. Also a good way to impress your parents on a Saturday is to make what I'm about to make. Show them you can make a potato scramble, something like that. And of course, excuse me for the horrible chopping right there. I'm distracted with this camera. Constantly moving as I move. I don't like having to keep my motions in check. I like being able to move around a whole bunch. So anyways, do that. I do that. Shoot, I messed it up. That's okay. So now, when I make this recipe in bulk, I essentially spend a little time chopping and cubing all the potatoes. And then if I'm going to have the potatoes on standby, I'll put them in water, like the cubed potatoes in water. And that just prevents me from having to worry about them browning. And I can kind of use them as I need. But now that's a good amount. So now, let's go back over to here. We need this. And we need this again. Okay, so for the pork, that should be fine. For the potatoes, that should be fine. So now, let's get a little bit of this action. When I fry off the pork, though, I don't use any oil. You basically don't need anything. So let's get this going. Always use the back of your knife so you don't dull your blade as you scrape stuff into a pan. Just use the back of your knife. A lot of people don't know that. Super easy trick. Now all I'm going to do is make sure I'm covering the potatoes in oil. Okay. So I'm just going to move them around. Probably should have done one more potato, but I think this will be fine. I think I did a little bit too much oil, but I'm going to be cooking eggs in here as well, adding some pork, other stuff, so it should be okay. But if you really want the potatoes to cook fast, of course, make sure they're all kind of touching the surface, and then just move them towards the center. Do your thing, you know? Okay, so we'll let that sit there for just a minute. And what am I missing now? The pork. Yeah, get a GoPro cam. Exactly. I'll show you what I'm dealing with right now. Let's see if I can find the old camera. Yeah, so I'm doing this. I've literally got a bungee around my neck, and then I've just got the camera doing its thing. So it's got a unique way of doing it. This is all. It's best for me on a low budget, you know. All right, so back to it. Iceman, why do you have this stuff hanging up? I do that to keep my place warmer in the main room that I'm always in. The day I get money, I'll donate it to you for that GoPro. Hell yeah, thank you. Being able to do more, like I would go on jogs. I can't really do this setup on a jog, you know? It would be so hard. So let's grab the pork. Of course, the pork is raw. So let's rock it with this guy. Okay. Again, I try to keep raw stuff from mixing with other things, just because that's an easy way to get sick. See how things are going down here. It's getting there. All right, so now that. Other things to consider is two separate ones. Might as well put all my dishes away. Bachelor kitchen. It's okay. It's just a bachelor kitchen. All right, better. I'm happy. Okay, those are getting going. Now with the pork, same thing with like when I do beef or chicken or anything. I just try to make sure one side gets some color to it, flip it over. But if you've never seen someone cook off ground pork, I think my technique is superior. It's a very quick way to get it done, but it also ensures that you cook every bit of it. We're gonna need 3 eggs. In fact, how many eggs do I have right now? I have enough eggs. I could probably do I can make this a little bit well, I'll make this a single recipe just to make it easier. So I'm gonna do 3 eggs when it's ready. Okay, cool. So we're 20 minutes into the cooking process. So now what I need to get prepped is I need to cook a bunch of white rice because this dish, you just put it on top of white rice. So now I went grocery shopping yesterday and I should have, yes, a whole bunch of white rice. White rice. Let's see here. My cup. I found about 3 to 3.5 cups of white rice is good to make enough white rice to like make this recipe. But in this case, I'm gonna do 4 just because I want to have a little bit extra because the recipe generally makes just a little bit more. Let's do that. Okay. I'm pretty decent at cooking in bulk, but then also cooking like multiple recipes at once. But a lot of that has to do with just experience, but just doing it a lot. All right, so there's 4 cups of rice. Plenty of freaking rice. Now what I need is 8 cups of water. In fact, I need to get this pork going real quick. So now I'm gonna let that side get some color, and then I'll start doing the rest of this. GoPro would be pretty awesome. I know you can wirelessly connect them to your phone. Is anybody counting how many cups I've done so far? I think that's 6. Seven. And a little bit of that, 8. All right. So that's ready to go. I think I can finish cooking this little like breakfast burrito recipe pretty quick. Mostly I'm doing this to make breakfast for tomorrow. And I'm going to have what we're cooking in the oven for dinner tonight. I might wind up like crutching and eating these again. All right. That's cool. Now with the pork, when it's ground pork, it's so much easier to cook when it comes like this because you can kind of follow the lines of how the ground pork was laid out. And you can just kind of like chop through the lines of ground pork, right? Like I just did there. And essentially like flattens it out for you. And now you're like cooking the insides because now they've kind of rotated like 45 degrees, 90 degrees, depending on how you chop it. And now it's a little bit easier. Okay, so there's that. Let it do its thing. Cooking. What I most need to do is finish cooking this, so I can free up space for this. It's getting hot in here. I think I need to open a window. There we go. Woo. It's like one of those moments where I kind of want to play guitar, but there's no time if I get distracted. Okay. So with the pork now, all I'm really doing is just turning it again. So I put the pink side down again. Many ways to cook pork. This is just how I cook. Get it all flipped over, and now give it a second, and then kind of start chopping through it. But I don't want to wind up with huge pieces of pork. I want to wind up with little like tiny pieces that will integrate well with like a matrix of eggs and potatoes. So I'll keep letting that do its thing. Potatoes are looking pretty good here. Oh yeah. And I've got both of these going right now, and they're both on medium heat. So I'm on number 5 of 9, 10. For the eggs, I'm gonna bring it down to like 2, 2.5 once I get there. See what's going on. Nothing new in chat, but I am paying attention. So hello, if you're there. Put chat right here for now. For the eggs, when I make this in bulk, I'll put the eggs into a bowl, I'll get them all mixed up, and then I'll add them. But if I'm just making like a single serving meal, I just crack them in there and mess with them. Nothing too complicated. All right, let's check out this pork. It is kind of strange doing this while streaming, because sometimes if I'm by myself, it's like, you know, little mistakes or little stupid things that I do don't matter. When I'm streaming, I'm almost like, are there any cooks watching me? You know? Sometimes if I need to speed up the cooking of stuff like this, I'll put a top on it. Kind of like, do like a little tent city type thing. Okay. But I normally cook this on the bigger burner. This is actually kind of interesting. All right, how are these potatoes doing? Oh, these seem just about done. Now, let's create a quick grease fire, just so I can demonstrate what not to do. So you can do this if you want to flip stuff, but a lot of times, if you're doing that flipper thing, you're going to drop oil, and you're going to start a fire. So always be super careful. I wish the pork would cook just a little bit faster, though. I only have so much time to make this all happen. And like I said, let's cook the pork a little bit faster. 6 o'clock already. Damn. Where'd the day go? I find myself saying that more and more as I get older. It's weird how life goes faster the older you get. It seems like my childhood took forever. And then upon hitting 18, things just started speeding up, and they've been speeding up ever since. Need to make some room in here. So many random recipes that I could show everybody. I've got some pre-cooked beef right here for when I make soups. Really good habit to get into. Got some pre-cooked ground turkey ready to go for other things. I got the cheese ready. I've got some tomatoes ready. Okay, I need this room because the chicken dish that we're making, I'm gonna put it up here to cool down once I've portioned it all out. Just want to make sure I had space. Okay, oops. Get the pork. All right, so that looks like I've basically cooked it off, but to be absolutely sure, let's see what temperature we have cooked the pork to. This is a Comark PDT 300. They're like 20 bucks off Amazon. And you can use this to check the internal temperature of things. Basically, you want to just like kind of get some on the stick. And as you can see, 188, we've definitely cooked the pork and it is ready to go. So that's cool, which means we can now shift this. So when I do this recipe, essentially for one serving, I do about a quarter cup of meat, meaning that's kind of for like one portion. But as you can see, I made a bigger portion, so I'm just gonna add just a little bit more. I'm kind of a little bit hungrier, or at least I'm always hungry. So got that. And now that's cool. That. With the rest of the pork that I'm not using right now, I'm actually just going to throw that onto a plate. And I'm going to let it cool down in the refrigerator because I want to bring it back down to a temperature. What happens when you cook meat or just food products in general is that once they go below a certain temperature, bacteria will start growing. So if I was to just leave this out, obviously bacteria will grow. Also, if I was to put it in the refrigerator, it's going to start cooling down. And I want to get it down to below 41 degrees within a couple hours. Generally within a half an hour is all it takes. And then that way, I'm stopping the process of bacteria and other harmful things growing. And that's just part of like food handler stuff. So there's that. And you might wonder, Iceman, why aren't you just dumping it? There's a lot of grease in here. I don't want all that. I kind of want it for like, I guess I'll use it over here for the eggs. Why not? A little extra flavor. So now this just goes in the refrigerator. I want to cool it down. If you were to put it in a container to let it cool down, you're kind of wasting your time. All right, so now let's get this rice going. Put it on high. Should be good. Now we need some eggs. Where'd that pop come from, son? Okay, so we've got this. Now I'm going to turn this down to about two and a half. I need a few eggs. Got about 30 more minutes till the main dish is done. I keep all my cracked eggs in the egg container. It makes it a little bit easier. I hate dealing with compost all the time. All right, so there we go. That's good. Open this up. Notice I'm using my pinky to open up the door because I still had some egg on my hand. But again, if you don't know how to cook, I encourage you to ask me questions or come back more often and learn how I cook because I save so much money with just these basic things that I do. And it's how I'm able to, take 6 months off and just stream or take 6 months off and go back to school is that I'm really good at saving money these days. I used to be a terrible cook, like the kind where it's like, I just want to go buy a falafel. Source Hugh, I think you said you're from the University of Washington. And so you probably know all about like falafel in the U District, but that was always a staple for me. But now I can actually make falafel. Now falafel in the U District used to cost about $5. And then I think the prices are now $6.50. I mean, it's keep going up and up, but oh man, I loved falafel. All right, so we've got that going on. And now let's get some kale. You probably don't like kale, but I like kale better than spinach. Now, this is not really doing anything necessarily. I'm going to cover it once I'm ready and then like steam it up. But I'm just kind of getting it ready. All right. And again, pretty much everything I buy is from Target. My weekly food budget is approximately $60. So if you think living on $60 a week food budget sounds good, let me know. Okay, now I forgot to add a little bit of salt and pepper to things. So let's get this a little. Salt gives things flavor. That's what a wise person once told me. Aladdin's Roastery. Yep, there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, exactly. There's so many of them. You know what I'm talking about. I love falafel so much. Let's see here. They've got the one that's like south of the Ave, like the big restaurant that has like the cool seating area where you feel like you're in the Middle East or something. They got one a little bit. So it's like all the Aladdins or the ones that look the same, they're all owned by people who are like family members and friends. But some of the more modern looking falafel places, I avoid those ones because they're more like expensive and rich corporate knockoffs, you know. All right. So as you can tell, using a large pan, not exactly the best, but there you go. Okay, so that's good. Whoops. Oh, damn it. I pride myself on keeping a pretty clean work area, but it doesn't always work out. So now we need this. So again, cheese, extra thin, 18 slices rather than 12. If you get the 12 slices, they're thicker. But these super thin, these are way better. You don't need a whole lot of cheese. The only reason I add a little bit of cheese when I do this is because I want something that'll kind of like bind things together, especially if I'm making a burrito. I don't like stuff falling out of my burrito. It's one of the most irritating things in the world. Okay, that's good. Let's go here. Let's go. Come on, rice. Now, this rice only takes 20 minutes to cook, which means it'll come to a boil, and it'll be done, I think, based on this watch, exactly when we get there. So it should be good. Oh, my video I'm wearing a camera phone around my neck right now. So I think there are particular instances where I might wind up with a flipped camera. Let's see here. You can see, just in case you want to see the magic behind this broadcast here. I've got a camera phone, and I've just got it chilling on essentially a bungee cord around my neck. That's pretty much all I could come up with to make it look like I'm a professional streamer. It's the best I can do. Okay. You're basically getting an apartment tour, but my apartment's nothing special. I think since I've been a virtual computer person for so long, I don't really care so much about the physical world as much as I care about the mind world, you know? Come on now. I need you to come to a boil. So this is looking pretty good. Let's see how we're doing. If I was to serve this to somebody, I would probably plate it about like this. But if I'm making breakfast burritos, what I'm going to do is destroy this beauty and just combine it and then put it into breakfast burrito form. So again, this is ready to go. You could serve this as breakfast. It's perfect. Looks pretty good. You got the meat with the potatoes. You got the kale on top. Everything's looking great, right? But now what I'm going to do is probably piss everybody off, and I'm going to actually change it a little bit. Yeah, dude, I just redefined the choker game. Exactly. So again, you can make really beautiful food, or you can make burritos where no one can actually see what all your hard work went towards. Like, oh, just look at all those beautiful potatoes. I feel like I did a really nice job on those. Anyways, so let's just mix all this up, and we'll cook it just a little bit longer. Usually I'll put this, if I'm doing it in bulk, I'll throw it into like a really large pot like this. It's much easier to mix everything around without worrying about spilling everything everywhere. So we'll do this. And, yeah, I'll wear the choker if I stream TF2 tonight, just since it's obviously stylish. All right, so now everything's been mixed up. I think I would have added just a little bit less canola oil this time, but Oh well, I'm streaming and I got slightly distracted. So chopping up the egg, getting the cheese in there. That's looking good. So now we'll give it one more quick little cook. If you want to heat stuff up, make a pile. It's the easiest way to heat stuff up. All right, so now we have reached boiling at exactly 40 minutes of cooking in the oven. So I have to shift to using this in a second. So I guess that was short-lived. All right, good enough. Is this boiling yet? Just about. It's so close. Come on, rice. Come on. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. All right, basically it's boiling, so let's go there. Put it on low, cover it, and we're good. So now the only thing we have to deal with is this right here. I think I have enough tortillas. Yes, indeed I do. So I'm gonna lay out some tortillas. And then I've found for this recipe in particular, generally 1 cup of this mix is enough for like a decent sized burrito. We don't get the pan flip. I see what you're saying. I could do one, but it's not necessary. If I was in a professional kitchen, probably. Because it looks awesome, right? So let me see how much I'm gonna have. I'm not sure. Okay. And I just kind of winged this one. I think if I'd done 3 potatoes, I'd have a perfect amount of like 3 burritos. This might just be a 2 burrito recipe, which is generally what it makes. 3 eggs, 2 potatoes, and the rest of everything. And generally you've made yourself 2 breakfast burritos in terms of like the actual volume you can get out of it. I think I might be able to get 3 out of this though. Let me try it like this. Oops, let's go here. This is going to be semi-successful. Okay, that's good. So, all right, so that made us like 3 cups of filler for burritos. Of course, these were the size of my potatoes. Banana for scale. Okay, and some were a little smaller, some were a little larger. All right. When I first started streaming, this is the burrito recipe, the style that I would use to always make sure that I had food on standby when I was streaming. This one's a little bit light. So this will be like the baby burrito, but basically I should have just made 2 with it. Rolling burritos is challenging, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to roll burritos. Get it on there. You can kind of do whatever you need to do. And it's just a simple, it's like you're pushing it over, you know? And I kind of press it down. And go with that one. I've done this so much that it's almost hard to describe how to do it. All right, 3 breakfast burritos, but now, like we did with the pork, I want to cool these down because, again, if you put something hot in a burrito shell, it's essentially going to keep cooking because this is like closed off, right? So I want to cool this down a little quicker because I'm just setting them here for standby because I'm going to cook them another time, or I'm going to eat them another time rather. And so I'm just going to let them chill in the fridge, come down to temperature of 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below. All right, cooking stream Pog. What's up, Zach? Welcome back. Cooking and cleaning stream, indeed. So we'll go here. Now, one thing I need to check is that I'm very close to hitting 1,000 followers. So I kind of want to see, oh, we're at 998 followers. So close. That's awesome. Actually, if you want to see, this is what I see. So now, a little bit more. Dishes. Best part of cooking. But what I like about making pre-cooking everything is remembering to turn off the stove, for one. But the other part is just, I don't have to do dishes every day. 'Cause I hate doing dishes every day. I do dishes every day. Is that the Pokemon song? But yeah, so now I've got breakfast for tomorrow. I've got about probably 7 to 8 dinners that are going to be ready in about 20 minutes. In fact, I'm going to eat one of them, so it won't exactly be ready. Okay, we'll get this in here. Of course, if you'd like to troll me, unfollowing is now the best time to unfollow me, since I'm so close to 1,000. When I was getting close to 500, like I swear people were unfollowing just to prevent me from getting to 500. Or I don't know what was happening exactly, but it was like the weirdest thing. And I've noticed the same slow creep to 1,000. Where it's like all of a sudden I was at 950, then 960, then 970, and now it's just like crawling like a snail. Obviously, 1,000 is just a number, but you know, good times. But a lot of what I'm doing is the magic behind Iceman West. Like, how can you sit at your computer for hours on end, day after day? Well, pre-cooking food is one of the best ways to do it. Because if you're always ordering, Uber Eats, McDonald's, things like that, well, you got to be rich to do that all the time. And I am by no stretch of the imagination rich. I'm doing okay, but I'm currently looking for employment to get back to work, so it's important for me to save money and do what I can. But even when I have money and have a job, I do the exact same thing, because then my savings just grows by leaps and bounds, All right, so we have random compost. Other random tricks: if you're not able to take your compost out right away, just throw it in the freezer and then bring it out when you can. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Kind of missed chat for a minute. Let's see here. The temperature of my fridge is actually like 35, so I'm not too worried about it heating things up too much. Been doing it for a while, so it's good times. Did you know that Dawn dish soap is not food safe? No, I did not. That's interesting. I don't think it's actually Dawn, because I bought Fresh Scent original dish soap from Target, and I just refill a Dawn bottle that I used to have. But yeah, this one has sulfates in it. No one likes sulfates, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Wacky? Did we hit 1,000? Did we just hit 1,000? Oh shit! Oh shit! I gotta check real quick. Yeah, I'm much more comfortable in a kitchen that has, like actual cooking stuff that you need. But let's see if this is visible. Not very visible, is it? But yeah, this is my battle station at the moment. Got an extra monitor over there. It's the same size as this one and this one. This is my 144 hertz that I got recently. And as I mentioned earlier, this is for blowing my nose, so please no jokes. Okay, just want to put that out there. This toilet paper is for blowing my nose, not for blowing wads. Okay, now that we've done that. So I've got just a minute until things come back around, so I figured I'd put this on real quick. You can see my setup again. Bungee cord, cell phone on a cell phone holder. It's working pretty well. This is one of those ones where if you've ever wanted to see what my place looks like, we shall spin. My bed's not made. Don't judge me. Again, bachelor. Oh, I forgot. I made this. I made a wall of all my shit from my computer boxes, just so I can like pimp out all the stuff I have. Anyways, we'll spin around. There's my place. There's other hallways, bathrooms, closets, but I didn't make them stream ready before the stream, so we're just gonna stay out here. Okay. So now what? Just need a little. Oh, see, we lost a follower. Thank you, whoever trolled me with the follower thing. I do appreciate that. We'll hit 1,000 one day, but for the most part, you know, who cares? Trying to think. I guess you can see like this used to be. You can see like up here. I had all my hooks for hanging all the VR stuff. I sold my VR kit, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Kind of had to, just to make things a little bit less stressful during this COVID job finding thing. So I don't actually have my index anymore. Surprise, surprise, right? All right, 50 minutes. Let's check and see how the everything's doing here. Ooh, it's getting there. Oh, it's looking real toasty, looking real nice. All right, what else can I do to kill some time here? 10 minutes. Oh, I know what I can do. So for this next part of the recipe, I'm going to be essentially plating ahead of time a whole bunch of dinner dishes. Okay. So I need all of these. And when I'm eating, when you see me eating this chicken dish on stream, all I'm doing is like pulling these out, nuking them in the microwave and going from there. So this is kind of that. I'm going to put a cup of rice in each one. I'll probably eat one of them just because I'm kind of hungry right now. Boom. Absence. I would love to know more about what you meant with regards to Dawn Dish Up not being safe. But I know what I prefer natural stuff. I shop at Target, Whole Foods. When your phone overheats and it shuts down automatically, always bad times. Boom. Okay, I should be back. Apparently my battery died. It was not overheating. Is the battery dying? So let's go back to that mode. Then we'll flip it again. Let's go here and should be back. If it dies again, give me a heads up. I know not everyone's probably watching, but oh, it could happen. So let's go back with this. Everything seems good though, right? I can hear myself, so you should be able to hear myself. Should be good. All right. So what you missed, I think, is that I pulled out a bunch of plastic containers, the lids, and I'm gonna plate up 8 dishes. So we just hit an hour, which means my dish is done. Let's see what it looks like. Come here, little guy. Come here. Ah! I don't know why I don't have pot holders, but I don't have pot holders. Boom. Congratulations, icemanwest. You're the proud father of a brand new dish. Now I'm gonna ruin it just a little bit. Just by moving it around. Oh yeah, that's gonna be hot. I'm gonna let it cool down for just a minute before I pull it up and plate it. All right, so got that. And now we have our quick 20-minute rice. And that's where the next part comes in. I guess I'll just use this. So apparently my phone did not overheat though. The battery died. All right, cup of rice, boom. Smash it down, looks good, right? I will read your comment about the soap in just a second. I saw that you replied. But normally when I work in a kitchen, if I work in a kitchen, it's more of like a soap, rinse, sanitize. So if I soap here, I rinse the soap away, and then I sanitize by using my dishwasher and using something, you know, like dishwashing. Soap, rinse, sanitize. Most people think just soaping is all you need and then rinsing it away, but sanitize is what your dishwasher does. And if you're not sanitizing your countertops after like messing with raw chicken, like I didn't sanitize my countertops, then you know, you put yourself at risk. Something to consider. Hope this is coming through all right. We good? Okay, yeah, we good. Thank you, Absence. So look at all these pre-made meals that I'm getting ready. Like, oh yeah, I don't have to do anything. All I gotta do is heat them up. This is like wartime cooking, COVID cooking. Oops, I didn't quite come out right. The rice is just a little bit like meh, but it's all right. Doesn't matter. Just gonna eat it. Okay, do this. Soap, rinse, sanitize. Now, if you're doing organics, you want to do soap, rinse, sanitize, and then rinse again. Because something's not organic if there's a chemical compound on it. Even sanitizer is considered non-organic. All right, so I've got 1 cup of rice left, which means I can make an extra one, which is pretty cool. Which I think this extra one will be for me and us. All right, so like I said, I got a week worth of meals, unless I get lazy and just eat them all in one day. It's been known to happen. Okay, that's good. We'll add the extra stuff here. All right. Okay, so now I need, let's take a look at this dish. Let's see what it's all about. Ooh, doesn't look as sexy as it could, but still looks. It's tastes delicious, and that's all that matters, you know. Let's go here. Go here. Okay. Now I'm going to use a half a cup and a quarter cup. For this amount, 6 chicken breasts, I've found that 6 chicken breasts is enough to make about this much, just like I used 4 cups of white rice to kind of get this all ready for being plated. But just in case, I'm only going to use a half a cup to start. Okay, and when I say half a cup, I am being pretty liberal with that half a cup, you know? Like I'm getting juice and chicken pieces, so it's kind of the best of both. Okay. And now if I'd bought some broccoli, I would have steamed some broccoli and thrown some broccoli in there as well. But I forgot because I have to walk to the grocery store, and generally I bring these 2 bags, and I just like put them over my shoulders, and I just chop and put stuff in there, and then go through the line and pay for them. So I kind of like know how much I can carry. So sometimes it gets full, and I forget maybe that I want some more stuff. Oh God, I want to eat this so bad. I don't know if you guys can hear that honking in downtown Seattle, but it happens. You had some weird sanitizer that was safe to consume in small amounts, so we didn't have to rinse. Interesting. But for organics, which is what I was referencing, like normal conventional food that's not organic, you can do soap, rinse, and sanitize. But when it comes to organics, you have to do soap, rinse, sanitize, and then rinse. Otherwise, it's not considered certified organic. You can call anything you want organic, but if it's not certified organic by the USDA or your local countries, then it's simply not considered organic. So rinsing away non-organic sanitizer, which I don't think there's any kind of organic, like certified organic sanitizers, but things might have changed. Who knows? All right, so I've got a half cup in each one, and as you can see, I still have a good amount left in here, right? So this is usually where then I take the quarter cup and I just try to like buff everything up, you know, because who doesn't like things being even, you know? Okay, so we'll add a quarter cup here. I've done a pretty good job not spilling so far, but I'm starting to lose my touch here. Man, this made a lot more than I'm used to. It actually feels like, I don't know, I made like usually it makes 6 or 7 portions, but I feel like this time making 8, like I can't, I don't know. It's pretty awesome. I'm not used to getting this many made at once. Now, if I was smart, of course, I would now start this process again and do another week's worth. Then I wouldn't have to deal with it for 2 weeks, but that's okay. I got plenty of time. In fact, I've been looking for things to do because I'm actually kind of bored these days. Wow, look how much I have left. What a time to be alive. Oh, that's tasty. Okay. Chicken Acapulco, because I'm hungry. This is gonna go here. And then we got a bunch of sauce. So now I'll just add some sauce to each of the dishes. A little bit right there, a little bit right there. My food handler's card just expired at the end of December. So if I want to like go help out like at a homeless kitchen or something like that, I have to renew my food handler's card, unfortunately. Let's just do this. Then let's go over here. Yeah, I see what you're saying though. Oh, the sauce honestly is the best part. I just want to put that out there. Okay. Now, of course, I could scrape a little bit more of this out, but whatever. I'll eat it. I try to pre-soak things as much as possible. I hate scrubbing. All right, now, as part of the final step, I'm gonna get those suckers in the refrigerator and cool things down. If I had my own walk-in, like a separate refrigerator, I think this would be a little bit easier, but whatever. That. So in about probably like 30 minutes, I'll cover them with lids. Icemanwest cooking. Oops, I think my camera fell again. All right. Whoop. Crotch cam. I keep licking the rims of these because it's so delicious to clean them up with my tongue. Now, kind of like Absence was saying, maybe it was someone else. Yes, the refrigerator will heat up. My refrigerator is at like 35 right now. Just half an hour. I could leave them out maybe for like an hour, but this is for me a little bit easier. The pork, I think, is ready to be. I don't think I can fit it all in here. It's kind of a problem. Let's see what happens. I'm about ready to eat this dinner, though. So now I've got pork ready for soups, for making more burritos. I've got that turkey in the refrigerator as well, the beef. I've got meals for the next week for lunches or dinners, or sometimes I'll wake up and I'll have it for breakfast. And I've got my dinner ready to roll tonight, so this is pretty good. Can I fit all this? I don't normally put them in these containers. Okay, it'll fit, hopefully. Only the thing I'm going to do after this, of course, is start the dishwasher. All right, now I have some pork. I have pork, turkey, beef, and then I got some extra avocado ready to go. These are cooling down. Breakfast burritos are cooling. I'll put them in a closed container later. And I am ready to have some dinner. Okay. So let's go here. I'm so hungry at this point, though. You have no idea. Normally I would eat here and stare out at Seattle, but let's just chill over here for now. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, right. Oh, I wish you could see it better. It doesn't really come through as beautifully as it could. Let's do, let's see here. Can we do this one? Yeah, that'll help. Let's go. Okay, let's go here. Let's get rid of the Elgato for now. Okay. Bon appetit. Now you've seen the entire process of how it's done, and you have zero excuse to save on, to not save money now. Any questions? Because I'm going to eat this sucker now and get rid of this. By the way, this is my new choker. It's been decided.
Yo! Is this working? I think it is. Well, that was fun. I haven't done that in a while. I think Wacky was the last person that I saw. The recipe is called chicken Acapulco. Let me see if I can find... I think I spelled that incorrectly. But in the first 20 minutes of the stream, I gave the recipe. And then I've also... these are probably not going to be the same thing. They definitely don't look like the same thing. Yeah, see, they just use like chili powder only. It's like super boring recipe. But I like the presentation. I like the green. Let me get the recipe for you real quick. So, of course, the real question is, do you want the full recipe, or do you want the do you want the normal recipe that my mom always made, or do you want the doubled recipe that I just made? That would be the question, you know? Speak now. Let me know what you would like, and I will give you that recipe. That rice unfortunately cooled down, but it's still warm enough. There we go. Should be good. Thank you. So, that is the whole recipe. So, 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of red pepper, or some kind of red pepper that's been crushed, quarter teaspoon of white pepper, and then half teaspoon of chili powder, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of mace, 4 cups of cooked white rice, and 16 to 24 ounces of chicken broth. And of course, you can watch me go through the process on the VOD because it's only about an hour total. It only took me like a half an hour. And then, 6 chicken breasts. Forgot about that. Who doesn't like boobs? You're asking about mace. Let me help you with the mace situation because you probably did not know about this. Let me show you something real quick. Let me go back here. Firefox. Mace. Mace is nutmeg. It's the outer shell of nutmeg. Let me see if I can do it like this. Mace, nutmeg. So you see this outer portion, like here? So the nutmeg is the inner thing, and the mace is the outer thing. So you get that outer thing, and that's what makes mace. Like, here you go. Here's mace now. You can actually see it. So, nutmeg, Mace, and we use like mace is the secret ingredient on this one, giving it the amazing flavor that it has. Oh, and like maybe like a quarter of a white onion. When I make a YouTube video cut of this, I'll make it more clear, and I'll have like a little recipe on there as I go along. But I'm gonna chop this down into like maybe like a 10-20 minute video, because it's so tasty. Like, there's just nothing more I can say about it. But yeah, that's the recipe. And of course, you saw me make some breakfast burritos. Probably kind of boring, but I do what I can. Let's go over here, here. Boom. But yeah, any questions? Because I think I'm pretty close to ending the stream. I'm just going to eat this, and then probably in a couple hours, I'm going to play some TF2, and I'll probably be streaming as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I got some followers today, which was awesome. We're at 998 followers. So if I stream later with TF2, we'll probably hit 1,000. But it looks like Grenades Hates 2020. Thanks for the follow. I My Fish, thank you very much for the follow. Inklings, you're with your hydrate. I think Inklings is the one that unsubscribed unironically because I asked. But that's pretty funny. Anyways, Scooby Drew 902, well, thank you very much. And Dave the Gingerbread Killer, thank you for following me 4 minutes ago. You got me that much closer, within 2 people of 1,000. So, if you're chilling in chat, if you've been lurking this whole time, I'm about to end the stream. So if like 2 of you are chilling there and you're about to make it hit 1,000, in a couple hours, do it again, and we'll have a good time. Again, thanks for everyone for hanging out. I see Abbott Costello, Absence. I see some random non-signed-in viewers. A10, Casino, thanks. Droop Dog, Extra More, Go With Him, what's up? Source Hugh, still kicking it. And Zach, Zach TBH, I believe is your name. Thanks to everyone for hanging out with me. Woohoo! Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy the food because I'm really hungry, and then I'll be kicking it on Steam. If you want to friend me on Steam, play video games in the future, let me know. I'll be back for more cooking streams in the future as well. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out, though, especially Absence. It was nice chatting with another person who knows how to cook. So until later, I'll just be eating and getting ready for video games. Peace.